Alright then, before I even begin to start to say anything, you probably can definitely hear the rain outside, which not necessarily anything I can do about. Gonna be raining all day, so might as well just go ahead and get this out the way. Anyway, when it comes down to it, the big ass news that happened when I decided to go to sleep last night, apparently Sony wanted to buy Kadokawa. I can already go ahead and tell you, this is a horrible ass idea, right? I don't think I need to explain why this is a horrible idea, but I will anyway. Looking at what they already own within the anime space, they already got Crunchyroll, they already got Right Stuff, they have Funimation before, it merged within Crunchyroll. They got like so many other stakes in like the pies of the anime industry that they don't need shit else. They already got shares and like stocks or interest within Kadokawa. They got some already like some partnership and cooperation within Shueisha. Like there's already so much Sony got their hands in that they really don't need shit else. Like I'm just gonna keep it very much a stack, right? This isn't just even about censorship as well, but this is just about control and everything, right? Because if they get this and this happen within the coming weeks, for sure this is monopoly, for sure, right? This is definitely monopoly. There is no collect your damn money after you hit go. This is definitely just straight up the worst kind of monopoly, honestly. Granted, both versions are ass, but still, nonetheless, this is the more ass version. But when it comes down to it, though, do I think this is something that we should be, absolutely shitting bricks over and 100% fearing? Yes and no. No, because it's not going to be instant death, right? It's not going to necessarily just mean like, oh, well, Sony owns Kadokawa now. That means everything I loved and everything I enjoyed from these type of shows that Kadokawa produced and published out there is dead now. Goodbye. No, it's not going to happen instantly, right? It's not going to be an instant death, because look at something like Down to Dawn. That's under Kadokawa's whole banner right now. And that sure has been like censored in some ways or been changed up in some ways, but it still basically shows you and tells you what's happening, right? There might be like some moments where they cut out certain stuff, but it's not anything like too overly dramatic of what's been cut out so far. So it's not necessarily like the end of the world. So yes, there is going to be maybe, bits and pieces, but still the original work is going to be intact, right? The only reason why you would say yes, this is something to fear is because what if that option happens though, where censorship obviously just come through and then just beat the ass of anime as a whole, because you know damn well they can do it. If you are somebody with a whole bunch of power and you have something to control over, you can easily just hit the instant death button and censor everything if that's what you so wish to do, right? The only reason why I don't think they will do that, if they're smart, is because that literally will make everybody turn on the damn company. At that point, literally, you're going to be hurting really hard. I don't think it's just going to be some light hurting. I think it's going to be some hard hurting. Just going to keep it very much a stack. So, that will probably be like the worst option that they can do if they were to go down that route and be like, yeah, we're going to just go ahead and just, censor all anime. I don't think that's going to be the case, right? I don't think so. This could definitely control what gets made, which would be scary to think about, because obviously, there is a lot of shows that I personally like that's in the Kadokawa, banner of things. High School DxD personally just in one of those things I absolutely enjoy as well. And that's like a whole thing that I just don't necessarily want to see, get hit with nothing, or just somehow don't have the chance to come back, even though I feel like of any show it should still, and I don't think it's gonna hit it like that, but you never really know with something. Like they can't even handle Concord when that shit was a thing, and you expect me to think they can handle a lot of different anime all at once. I don't know, it's a little weird. But I will say this though, I do think Kadokawa did need to branch out in some shape and form to at least a bit bigger space than just Japan. However, I wouldn't have done it under the Sony banister. That much I would definitely say. But that's just personally for me though. But this is just another step in a monopolized direction where things are not going to be that good. And I think my biggest take from this that I really would say that really bothers me when it comes down to people is essentially what they're seeing this, right? Because a lot of people are like, well, this is good because, that means Sony will get FromSoft, right? And so that means they'll get like the games and whatever, right? Like Elden Ring and like Bloodborne and stuff like that. And whether that's a good thing, whether that's a bad thing, I don't know. I haven't played either game, so I can't necessarily tell you. I'll leave that for your discussion. I don't think it's a good thing personally, though. Just taking a guess. But when it comes down to it, though, it's just like that's not the only thing to worry about, right? Because obviously, yes, the games in FromSoft, sure, but there is a bigger side of this whole discussion that is beyond games, and this is definitely more so on the anime side than anything else. FromSoft is just a bonus at this point, right? That's what that shit feels like to me. And it just is, but it is just telling how people kind of think now. Hell, like nowadays, you really get people, especially, really, this is more so on the new side of the anime community, because how people kind of think now, where 10 years ago, people didn't think certain things, and now it's kind of just like, well, now we kind of have to think differently, or they want to be more sensitive and things like that, because things like a High School DxD or things like, shows like that or whatever, definitely for a lot of people piss them off more that it exists, or they don't care for it now, and it's just like, why is this the case? And I kind of feel like this also has to do with, obviously like the past 5 years with the whole DEI nonsense and all that stuff being added to our media when it comes down to it, which definitely harmed a lot of people when it comes down to how people think now, definitely. And it's just not necessarily a good turn. So, and that's like another thing kind of that makes me worry about the whole Kadokawa kind of ownership, because it's just like, well, if that happens and then we start getting more like Western anime that gets made and put into like Japanese hands, and yeah, they'll do good, but it's not going to be as great as a regular Japanese show, or we get like Japanese shows that do really good DEI stuff that you just maybe not recognize or whatever, but it's really damn good, so they'll try to sneak it in some shape or form, which there is a few shows that's already like that. It's a little shitty. It's a little shitty. Definitely, that's kind of how it is when it comes down to it. But overall, it's just not a good time. This is definitely just more censorship. Like, we already have the credit card companies going ahead and trying to censor the hell out of things from the source, right? They're already trying to censor manga and stuff from the source, and it's like adding this on top of it with more potential censorship. It's kind of scary. So there's definitely that. Like I said, not everything is just gonna automatically get hit, because not everything gets treated like that, even under Sony. But still, I don't want them owning everything. That's like the huge thing. And this is where I'm like, I wish we had competition still, right? Because Microsoft, I don't know what the hell Microsoft is doing right now, because Xbox is basically dead, because they did the whole everything's an Xbox thing. My dick is an Xbox somehow, but it is. And then that's just how that goes. Nintendo's kind of in their own lane doing whatever, and nobody really is like, or really can compete with Sony at the moment, and it's just terrifying when it comes down to it. And this is why competition is so damn important, so you don't get situations like Sony owning basically the whole anime industry and just owning the gaming marketplace basically, and things of the sort like that. It's not good for one thing to own everything, right? It's basically Disney at this point. Sony's just basically second Disney. But yeah, it's just an annoying situation, really. But that's what I wanted to cover for this one, just real quickly. Kind of want to talk about my thoughts about it and what I think and stuff, because obviously this has been a song and dance that's been going on for like a while now, and obviously it sucks. So when it comes down to it, the last thing we need is more hands in the pie when it comes down to Western companies and media and such like that, trying to get over into Japan and do more shit. And this is also the reason why this is why I'm so glad we got things like, Korean devs existing with like Nike or Stellar Blade, or Chinese devs kind of existing with like Wukong and Genshin at times as well too, because just like those are like the things we turn into now, or some people are just turning to now, because it's just like Japan feels kind of lost at the moment, right? It's not completely lost, but it feels lost at the moment, and definitely things might not get better. I would hope it would, but it is definitely a challenge to do so, because how much of the Western world is in Japan right now? How much of these people are just definitely going about their ways of Japan corporately? And it's not necessarily just an easy battle to fight against, so it's really just not that good. So hopefully things don't be too shitty, but we'll see. But again, that's really what I wanted to say for this one. So hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification on your way out. Also follow me on the socials, which is Twitter and Blue Sky. And if you'd like to donate to the channel, Kofi and Cash App is available as well. And until then, it's your boy Jay, signing off. Have a blessed day.